Hey, welcome to Let's Talk Context Live, episode number 6. Guess what? It's May. Yes! Oh my goodness, we made it. Happy May 1st to each and every single one of you. Who would have thought we'd come this far? I mean, we would have eventually, but oh my gosh, another month down. Wonderful. All right, so question for you. What are you looking forward to doing? It's a new month. Do you have any plans? Maybe you've kind of adjusted to life under lockdown. So what are some things that you are looking forward to doing this month? Maybe inside or outside. Just tell me some of the things you want to do this month. Maybe some goals you want to accomplish. Write it in the chat section. Let's go ahead. Today we're going to begin with Around the World. Hi, Leah. Oh, gosh. So around the world, I was reading this BBC article by Francesca Perry, and she was talking about how coronavirus is showing us that we don't have to be as reliant on cars and transportation and things like that. And I thought that was really cool because we're learning that telecommuting works. So if you have a job that you thought or your employers thought this could never be done from home, it's not a possibility, it's not an option, well, coronavirus is showing us that it can be. And the beauty of telecommuting is you're not getting in your car, we're not getting in our cars on buses, and we're not further contributing to emissions that are going into the atmosphere, into the climate and all of that. So we're actually doing really good for the environment, if you think about it. And so that's what the article was about. It's showing us that our CO2 emissions are down, there aren't as many pollutants going on into the air, and so that's helping us with the environment. So people are switching from taking the bus or driving their cars, they're walking, or there's more reliance on bicycles, which is also healthier because you're getting exercise. So that's really awesome. So what do you think about that? Do you think that this could be the real beginning of something where we utilize bicycles and walking more as opposed to driving and getting on trains and in buses where we're constantly emitting, these vehicles are constantly emitting pollutants into the air? Let me know. Let's kind of talk about what your thoughts are, because I think that this is a conversation that we need to have, really, because I mean, we're not helping the environment with our habits, and so coronavirus is forcing us to change those habits. So that's kind of what's going on around the world. Maybe we should be doing more of this. I don't know. We'll see. So for today's pronunciation perfection, that's what we're doing next. I'm going to read the excerpt to you. And remember, you have an opportunity to win an English resource. So one of my favorite books that we talked about a few episodes ago, you have the chance to win. So let's go ahead, write the dictation out, write what you hear me say. And if you get it correct, then you have an opportunity. You must get 4 dictations correct by June. And then your name will be entered to win one of the books. The brother and sister went skipping through the forest. Unsure of what they might encounter, they forged ahead and were determined to continue their adventures. The sun was about to set, so they knew the animals would be waking up soon. That's it. That's the dictation for this week. Write what you think you heard me say in the comment section on this video. And if you get it correct, your name will be entered to win an English resource, if you get 4 of them correct. So we'll just kind of tally your entries up as we go along. For today, I wanted to do something a little different. So many of you have been asking, how do I get better with my English? What do I need to do to improve my English? And so one of the things I'd like to do is, what I've suggested in the past is, if you don't have access to native speakers, that's okay. You can meet someone who has a higher English level than you do, and you can converse with them or something like that, right? And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to feature one of our online friends who has a blog. Now, his native language is Italian, but in his blog, he writes in English. And I think it's so cool because if you don't have access to a whole lot of English teachers or native speakers, That's something that you can do that will help you. So maybe the blog isn't perfect, your grammar is not 100% perfect, but the more you write, the more you get in the habit of actually just using the English, the better you'll become. Claudio's blog, and you'll see the link in the description box a little bit later. I'm going to make sure I put it in there. His most recent blog article was talking about how an airport in Italy was mulling over creating an airline that would travel within the country. And I thought that's so cool. I mean, I haven't heard of many airports that have their own airlines, but it's great. And Claudio's article isn't necessarily pages and pages long. It's a brief article, and he explains what it means to mull. And there's another phrasal verb that he used in his text that he explains to the reader, which I thought was really great. So if you are struggling, you don't have native speakers around, and you just want to use your English, creating a blog is a great thing to do. So thanks, Claudio, for allowing me to talk about your blog. All right, ask anything. What is one thing you miss doing because you are inside? I miss seeing my clients. So one of my clients, Leah, the one who I referenced earlier, she was on watching the live stream, and I miss them. I miss them so much. So I think one of the first things that I'll do once the federal government, not just the state government, because I think Georgia's kind of rushing things a little bit by saying we can go out now and kind of continue life as it used to be. Once the federal government says that we can, or a majority of the states are lifting their bans, then I am definitely going to make a trip to see my clients in person, whether or not it's for a scheduled session. I just want to see them because I miss them a lot. I don't like how I sound when I speak English. Can you help? So I think that one of the things that helps me when I'm when I'm speaking French or trying to speak Spanish or another language, even my mother tongue, Creole, is I put on like a persona. And that helps me kind of get out of my shell and kind of get rid of that fear that I have of communicating in a language. Because when you speak another language that's not your native language, you are very self-conscious and you wonder if you're saying the words right, if you sound like you know what you're talking about. So when I speak French, I put on a persona and I become this very French stereotypical woman, and everything about me changes. My body movements, my facial expressions. And so I think when you do that, when you kind of create this alter ego of yourself, it helps to sort of embody that language. So that's something that's been very helpful to me. If you don't like the way you speak when you speak in English, pick like a television character or a movie character who you're like, oh my gosh, she's amazing, and try to emulate that person. And our last question, I have trouble talking about my opinion in English. What can I do to get better? Do you have tips? When you are talking about your opinion, when you're giving your opinion in English, you want to be sure to, one, actually state your opinion, and two, have supporting evidence. So it's not enough for me to say, this is the best TV show to watch if you want to learn English. I need to have some supporting evidence, some claims, or some reasons why that is. And that will make your argument more effective. When we are talking to people about the way we think concerning something, we definitely want to make sure that we show them through our words why it is that we think that way. So walk me through the process, through your thinking process, and help me understand what it is that is going on in your head. So that's a great way if you're trying to talk about how to give your opinion. First, actually state your opinion, state how you think about something, and then make sure to state the reasons. And after you've given the reasons, you can go back to that source, the TV show, for example, and prove where you saw that reason or where that reason was most effective in the show or in that source. So I think those are really good ways to help you if you're trying to communicate what you think. I would love for you all to be sure to Check us out on social media, Twitter, Instagram at Speak Right Play, Facebook Speak Right Play English, and Patreon Speak Right Play. Now, why am I asking you to do that? It's because we have a ton of content. If you're trying to improve your English skills, then the more practice, you know that saying, practice makes perfect, the more practice you have in different avenues and different spheres, the better you'll become. So it's not enough to just read English, to read books in English. It's not enough to just listen to podcasts or watch movies and TV shows. You have to get all of your faculties working to really gain a stronger command of the language. And that's what we do. On Twitter, you'll get grammar, vocabulary, writing. On Instagram, you'll get speaking, listening opportunities. On Facebook, you get a little bit of both. And on Patreon, so Patreon is relatively new, still trying to get the hang of it. But on Patreon, that is for my intermediate to advanced people who are trying to really go to the next level. I know it's a little corny to say next level, but you have enough vocabulary, you have enough understanding of the language, and you're trying to go deeper. So when I talk about that ESL to ELA thing, if you've watched previous videos or even interviews that I've done, that's what we do on Patreon. We take what you already have, the knowledge you already have, and we build on it so that you really can gain fluency and you can master English beyond just, hi, my name is. Well, that's it for today's show. Thanks for watching. If you don't have your notifications turned on, definitely have those turned on so that you can know when we have new videos and when I go live. Bye.